Alright, welcome back to Power Wash Simulator. We're getting towards the pointy end of the free play sessions, redoing the maps with the Pro Washer after going through the campaign with the Basic Washer. Just a reminder on what we're doing here. We're up to the Ferris wheel. We've got, basically as it stands here, Ferris wheel, subway, wagon, statue. That's the next four. I don't think I'm going to get them all done in this session, but I'm going to give them a bash. The subway will still take forever, but less forever than it did with the Basic Washer. Transmaster, the world's first techno Ferris wheel. 10,000 watt generator. Turn it on if you need a bit of rotation action. We'll hook up the rave generator once you're done. Now, it would be better if the rave generator was already there. Right, so it's already moving and I don't want it to be at this point. And the thing keeps moving. Cool. So we have scaffold. I seem to remember even with that, it was pretty tricky with the basic to get a good enough blast on things, but we should be good to go even with just an extension probably, but we're just going to go all the way to the top and see how we go. You get best results just by jumping on the damn thing, I think. And thankfully we're going to be able to just leave it on the yellow stream for pretty much the whole of it. We won't have to go to the red at all. Instead of having to blast away at everything with the red or the turbo, we can just keep it nice and wide. Do what we can from here. We're going to have to jump over onto it really to get into the bearings and stuff. Managed to get its shaft clean, which is a good start. Always a good place to start. You could also rotate it around in order to be able to get to the other parts of the beams and such, which we will have to do at various points. I accidentally hit control, so I'm wondering, why did I crash? Because my fingers are big. So front spoke, there is a rear to it, I guess, maybe? Not sure. But apparently that's less clean than I expected. And that's where it's a case of you just gotta go onto it. Big upright will be a bit easier to do, hopefully. I figure if this takes me like an hour or so... Oops, I hit the pole. Maybe we'll get the subway done as well today. That would be good. Not really optimistic about getting too many maps done. The fortune teller wagon and the monument are not going to take long by comparison. So if it comes to it, I could always just pivot and do one of those kind of out of order. And that doesn't really matter. Can't remember how they actually unlocked specifically. It could well be that there were two options, but by this stage in the campaign I seem to remember being frustrated that they pretty much just gave you one at a time instead of having multiple jobs on offer. It would have been nice if they always had a small job available that you could do as a sort of palette cleanser, but they didn't. Now it's a pain to do all of this stuff when you're standing on it, because you don't have a very good angle. So clean the face of it as much as we can. But there are some awkward angles that we're going to need to get over there to do. Just stand on it. And of course there are two sides to this as well. This is just one side. And we can go down to the lower point on the platform for all of this stuff as well, of course. Right, extension off. And jump. Excellent. All the way up. And yeah, there's a rear side to the spoke, which is why it wasn't cleaning from the other side. know how fiddly it's going to be. So center bearing. We'll need to get from the bottom as well, of course, but just kind of run up a lot of the bits, which is nice. You wouldn't want to be afraid of heights, would you? So, what else is there that it doesn't like about this spoke? Oh, it's the tops of all of the lights. Okay, I'm not sure if we can get all the way up onto this, but maybe we kind of jump our way around into that basket. There we go up here. And there we go. It's not really very effective though, is it? Oh, it includes the bit at the top. That was the main problem, was the spoke. Okay, fair enough then. Whee! You can usually climb pretty steep angles in this too, so we can probably go down this bit here and then still come back up again on the other side if we want to. Easy does it. Do the inside of this spoke. You do the underside of it, of course. Oops, fell into the car, that's fine. Nice. That's one of the beams done. You can also do these bits here. You can also do them when you're down on the ground, but do it as short as much, please. Nice. These poles are annoying. They've got so many faces to them. I think in my original playthrough on this, I had just been able to afford the Pro, I think, but I didn't have any of the extensions for it, so I couldn't use it to its fullest extent. But then I lost the footage of my early access playthrough of this. The basic washer is still there. It took me 2 goes at that. It's like 2 episodes. It took a long time to do it with the basic washer. But in early access, had some issues and time lapsed on the highlight. Fortunately, lost to the winds. So we're kind of making up for that now. This is more akin to what it would have been like in the early access, because they haven't really changed a hell of a lot. That's the thing. Is from here on out, it's going to be pretty stock. It's going to be very similar to what we did the first time around, though Subway, I think, is when you're only just getting the extensions for the Pro Washer. So there'll be that kind of point of difference. And for the Ancient Monument, well, the statue itself, I think, would be basically the same. It'd just be a case of knowing a bit better what I'm doing. Which, you know, be interesting to see what differences there are. Otherwise, for the Finger in the Desert, I was doing it with the white nozzle, I believe, because that was an achievement. Fairly sure that's the one that I chose to actually record. I don't think I did it a second time with that. So if that's the case, that'll be a very big point of difference, because it won't take nearly as long using the yellow or green as it did the white. That's off now. Now, as long as we're careful, we should actually be able to climb up this, I think. Because we seem to be part goat or gecko or something. We'll clean the rest of the outside of the cars and stuff from the ground. I don't really need to do them here. Than my usual compulsion to just do everything that I see at any given time. Isn't healthy. It'll learn some restraint. Or at least exercise it. I'm familiar with the concept. Oh, I didn't do the underside of this spoke from wherever else I was meant to. What's me missing on this spoke bit? There we go. Are these lights actually like separate pieces or anything, or? I don't think so. They don't seem to. I don't see how they would be. Shouldn't these have like a door or a bar or something to stop you from just falling out at night? That'll be the underside of this that hasn't been done now, I'm guessing. And this spoke we haven't done the other side of. Can get this? Yeah, we are. Actually get the pole. Nice. Oh, there we go. Nice. She got one of the pods done from up here. It's just funny. Side of the pole. It goes with whether you want to do it looking down at things or up at things, basically. And today we're doing it by looking down at them instead of doing it all on the floor. Of course, the pod's in the way from us being able to actually stand on that bar, but now we can get into that pod if we work our way around here. Jump up onto this, which we were intending on doing. Walk the tightrope along here. A bit of down sprayment. Beep. I'll work on the frame. There we go. Finish the frame, in fact. The inside of the spoke on this side. Managed to do a decent amount of stuff on the insides of things on the side that we don't have the scaffold currently. Then when we shift across, we should just get the dings when spraying at it from the scaffold instead of having to jump over here again. That's the hope. But it also doesn't matter too much, let's be honest. Okay. Inside of this beam. Inside and top. There'll be a bit on the bottom probably that needs to be finished off. And we can also just walk down here now. Basically do the same as we did on the other side. That is the problem with these big ones, where it's just very repetition based. Okay, another spoke, and another car, and another spoke, and another car, and some more beams. I mean, you know, that is the nature of a Ferris wheel after all, but it does make it slightly less endearing than other maps where there's a little bit more going on. Yeah, we already did the Helter Skelter, which was very similar. The Carousel had similar sort of energy, but was at least smaller. Like when it came to doing the horses, it was less frustrating than doing all of these Ferris wheel cars. No, we'll back up this kind of. Might be a little bit too steep to follow with. We can do half of it from above and do the other half with it down below. Or something. We'll just work our way around. We have to stop-start it a little bit, so be it. Mostly in here just to get the other side of these spokes. One frame. Nice. And hit this pole. There we go. Go the whole way across. This pod. Bit on the outside, I'm guessing. So this spoke, do we still have... Right, still got stuff to do on it. It'll be the underside probably, won't it? That would make sense. Now, get this side of that all done. Do this side panel for the star. At least they do have these nice big panels here instead of it being all exposed, because that would be just annoying if you had to clean through all of the axle bit in the middle or something. There'd be nothing to stand on. It's nice that I've got this platform here. I'm sure they had me in mind when they designed it. So front star faces the whole thing. It doesn't broken up into panels then. Okay. Spray the top of the bearing and stuff. So we can get that out of the way now. This front spoke will need a bit more work. May as well just finish this off there. There's not really any need for me to try and avoid using the scaffold on the other side. That seems to be what I'm kind of gearing towards here. There's no need for that. Let's not be silly. You can just use the scaffold. It's easy to move it. Always trying to make life harder for myself, it seems. Good. Is that spoke done? We may struggle to get back up again now. But I'm just kind of committed to that, that's fine. If I can't go up the beams again, then we jump off and rotate it, that's fine. Let's rust off pole. Okay, now we've fallen a little bit too far to be able to climb back up again. Now the dangerous thing there is losing track of where you are up to. So you don't want to forget about a little bit that you were halfway doing, then wonder where the hell things are at the end when they're not clean. But in the meantime, we do what we can of what we can see. Just doing it very opportunistically, basically. If I see it, I spray it. We might be able to climb back up here on these things first. If we can climb up without falling off. It always wants to tip you sideways for some reason. It's kind of weird. But we made it up to this car, but we can't get on it because of the angle. That's... And we spin it around. I guess, well, we can do more from the scaffold on the underside too. Long extension again, potentially even the extra long to be honest, but use more of these spoke bits here. We need to do the underside of these ones. And there's the rest of the big star, of course. The underside of the bearing. Which we want to get like literally underneath it for that. I feel the star face is going to be quite generous. Looking at how close it is to dinging now. Yeah, that was extremely generous. There was a lot still to do that was hidden behind the front here. But okay. You're going to give it to me. That's fine. This big center support. Not going to try and do it all from the ground. Outer beam, rear outer beam. Oh, it's on the other side. That's the one on the far side. Okay, well, we'll get that when we're on the far side. Oh, we didn't do the other side of this. Slacking me. We really do quite a lot on the other side just from here, just without even jumping into everything. Especially if this is only with the long extension, not even the extra long. Angles in on the A-frame. We have to go actually standard behind it to get everything properly. But we need to make sure we get the outside angles in that case. Scaffold's not quite centered. Nice. This spoke is apparently not done. I must not have managed to clean the inside of it, I guess, before I fell down. There's things I can't remember where I got up to with half that stuff. This one here will also need the inside done, I'm sure of it. Hey, Mr. Smarty, welcome, welcome. Right. And we probably want to just start rotating this around now. Get the side angle of the support, I suppose. Yes. We should really have been doing the other side first, I think, because I'm fairly sure this is the side that the time-lapse actually shows. Or whatever. It's going to show us cleaning a lot of stuff and then nothing for ages. And then cleaning more stuff. That's fine. Make sure we get the fine bits of the support here, further up. And then the same for the A-frame bits here. Gonna have to go in the other side as well, of course. Hate California. 55 is too damn slow. And that is why I play ATS with the speed limiter disengaged. Gee, there isn't even one in that game, I don't think, but I just don't pay attention to the speed limit. Okay, now we want to take the extension completely off, because everything else is now pretty much ground level. Blast this rust away. Okay, there's bits up there that I didn't get, it seems. Oops, extra long. There. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Nope. Do not want to change from this washer. Extensions, sure. Washer? Hell no. This series is pro-washer indulgence for a reason. I'm back on the other side of that one. .55 in flat-ass California, exactly. I mean, the most of the roads are really long and straight and good, so makes you wonder why they thought that was a good idea. I bet there was some excuse around safety, but that sounds like an excuse. Like, come on. Good roads are big roads. Sure, maybe off the interstate, but yeah, it's weird. So that was the center support done. A-frame supports, that'll have a lot up behind that needs done, I'm guessing. Same with this one. Pretty good up there, but it'll be around this side. And behind it, of course. Because we haven't really looked at it from this side yet. Only what we could see from the scaffold, which didn't include this bit. There we go. Basically what we could see at the time. Yeah. Just a touch. Just a touch of the extra long extension. And apparently this one, there we go. Saying this one doesn't want to clean. Got there. So, I guess I can finish cleaning all the ones down here first, like how I probably should have done all of them. And then we can work on rotating it around and polishing off the ones that I missed from up this side. Canada has the record for the most congested highway? Really? I would have thought that would be some of the big Chinese ones where you have like 8 lanes and it's all blocked up for kilometers. Do they just mean like most frequently congested as opposed to one-off happenstances? I didn't think there was enough people in Canada to fill a highway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hello, Selfner. I missed you were streaming. I should have checked. I just didn't even think, because you don't normally do weekends, and I normally only do weekends. I hope you had a good stream. Had some fun. Lovely chill time. That is the idea. Taking a few weeks off work, having a break, catching up on some of this stuff. I kind of wanted to finish this New Game Plus playthrough of this by now, but keep getting distracted by life, the universe, and everything, as you do. And Subnautica randos. Speaking of, hey Razor. Only 3 places in Canada have enough to fill a highway, everywhere else is pretend traffic. Yeah, that tracks. Would just be traffic into Toronto, traffic into Vancouver, and one of the others, I guess? Hey, Arisa, thanks for the
horns,
resub.
not poke, slide, not horns, not poke,
Here it
slide, not
comes.
horns, not poke, slide, not horns, not poke, slide, not horns, not poke, slide, not horns, not poke, slide, coding, 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 coding.
There we go. The mandatory speech of resubscription, thanks to our text-to-speech. I do enjoy how it interprets the emotes. Montreal. That would be the other one, yep. That makes sense. Montreal. I remember they used to have, some of the StarCraft ones were in Montreal. Gifted a tier 1 sub to Selna. Very generous, Razor. Thank you very much. Selna, welcome along. Enjoy the random emotes. You can now have a sparkly nice. And a questionable truck. Oh. Remember which bits that I didn't finish when I was jumping around this like a crazy person earlier. I think I did most of this. It's all of the stuff on the other side, that's right. Yeah, I just need to rotate things around. Keep jumping all over this like a, I don't know, hyperactive 5-year-old. It's congested highway is the 401 through Toronto, of course. No idea how to road, so in the 50s they made a screw up and the government's too lazy to fix it. Yeah. That sounds like Auckland highways. Our motorway system in Auckland is pretty rubbish. It's like the speed limit's only 80 k's an hour through the city because of just congestion. And it's usually going much slower than that in peak times. Currently trying to upgrade the road into the city, and it just takes forever. And by the time they've finished it, it's no longer fit for purpose. So you need to concentrate on spreading population around instead of having everyone migrate every single day. That's the idea. 18 lanes, jeez. Yeah, it's one of the cases where more lanes is not better. I guess that may have been the old school of thought at one point. It's probably a point where there's on-ramps or something, probably, or like joins. Yeah, no, 427, so it'll be two that join together, and then you just get the congestion, all the traffic, and people don't know how to merge properly, and as soon as you get someone cutting into a lane, then everyone brakes, and then everyone stops, and then it takes ages to clear, and then more people get frustrated and make other stupid decisions, and yeah. Traffic rant. It's always the thing, is that it doesn't matter how good you may have designed something or how well-intentioned your motorway system design is, people are always going to screw it up. You can't cater for everyone's bad behavior, unfortunately, and that's usually the problem. Pay for the 407 to go around anything, and that's the other thing, is a good toll road. Toll road? I can't words today. Good toll route. As a diversion is good, especially for like freight, because companies can just pay for it for their trucks and stuff, and that gets that off the main highways. We seem to have a bit of a weird aversion to doing tolling here. People go, oh, but I don't want to pay for going on the road, it's my right to go on it. It's like, yeah, but if there's an alternative, you can take the scenic route. I don't like being charged for like mandatory travel. I think that at some point they're going to chuck a congestion charge going through Auckland. But at that point it's less a congestion charge and it's more just a working in the city tax. And it's not like you have much choice if your company bases itself there. More companies need to distribute. Designed as a stress reliever for the 401, they made it a toll road. Because it's a stress reliever, that's the point. And that's that mentality of, oh, but it's a toll road, so what's the point? The point is you pay for the privilege of not getting stuck in traffic, right? It's a premium. Toll's usually not exorbitant. It's usually worth it for the A, stress, and B, probably petrol that you can save by not burning it up, sitting in a traffic jam. I mean, roads aren't free, right? Motorways and stuff are hugely expensive. They're like skyscrapers lying down on the ground. They are feats of engineering that everyone takes for granted. Gotta remember that that stuff's expensive, and if it can be built quicker, knowing that they're going to be repaying back the debt that was probably inevitably drawn down to build it in the first place, you know, if that happens faster because of that, great. And it helps to pay for its ongoing maintenance. It's a win-win-win. I see no problem here. Because let's be honest, your taxes aren't enough to pay for everything. And people who live in BC don't want to pay for someone's... I don't know, I assume you have federal level tax as well, state level, but they don't want to pay for things on the other side of the country. Certainly the case here. Like, I'd much rather they put a decent toll road through parts of Auckland, like if they do another harbour crossing, and have it be user pays. Like, there is one instance of that going north. The stretch of the northern motorway going out of the city is like that. And I'd much rather that be the case than people in the provinces or other parts of the country essentially subsidising our traffic problems. It's just more fair that way. Yeah, I'm generally not a fan of, like, congestion zoning, where it's a case of, yeah, we know that you have to come here for work, so we're gonna charge you for it. You have to pay for the privilege of working in the city. Can you tell my business to relocate then, please? Because they don't listen to their employees. That'll be the other side of that pod will need to be cleaned. Seems I didn't hop around quite as much as I thought on here. A lot of stuff that's still undone. Inevitably, I'm getting distracted from what I was initially doing. Kind of par for the course for me. Maybe we just clean a pod, rotate it so it moves around, clean the next one, and be done with it. We work out a system. I know I worked one out last time I did this map, and of course now I've completely forgotten what it was, so... UK is crazy, they have like multiple zones? Oh, the congestion zones in London. Yeah, there's like an outer zone and an inner zone or something. That's good. That'll be the underside of the pod, which I can't reach right now. Beam. Nice. It's fun to have already done the other side. Where's this one for some reason? Oh, it was already done. Never mind. I was like, oh, why didn't that one ding? It already did. A while ago. I had just forgotten. Oh, there's the generator. That's right. Jump on the generator. And then I can do the outside of this. I think I still need to do the inside of this one, though, is the problem. Some of them have done the outsides, some of them have done the insides. I haven't really kept best track of which is which. Oh well. We'll find out. Ooh. Yeah, I'm guessing there must be stuff inside this one. Go up the carpet. Boing. Go up to any Brit and say M25 and they'll start ranting about how bad it is. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty universal. But it's better than the alternative of not having a ring road. If you didn't have a ring road and had to drive through the damn city every single time, that would be so much worse. And once again, a lot of the problems with it just come down to how people use it, rather than the road itself being any issue. It's generally because drivers are idiots. So it still needs to be done inside as well, I think. So by comparison, our problems with traffic in New Zealand and Auckland and such is very minor. It's just on a small scale, but certainly no less frustrating. One of those things of when something goes wrong, it goes wrong badly. It just takes forever to clear things. Of course, the good alternative in the UK around likes of the M25 and coming into London and stuff is at least you've got a really good transport system. Here, it's a bit of an afterthought, and the geography just really doesn't help. Auckland is a really stupid place to put a city, is the main takeaway from all of it. Okay, so that pod we need to do the inside of still. Let's move it around a bit. Move it so that the white pod is at the bottom. Yeah. So we've done that one. Actually, we've done both of those. We could move it around 2. Do like a quarter rotation. Put the red pod at the bottom. Imagine some funky carnival music going on. Oh, it does actually stop at part way. Okay, no, I do want to stop it at the bottom, I think. Okay, now I can do the underside of this, which should make this thing. Oh, extensional again. There we go. Lovely. And now we just need to do the inside of the red one. Things to do when in the UK. See the landmarks, talk to the locals, avoid London and visit Scotland. Yeah, yeah. London is worth spending some time in. Just don't drive there. Simple as that. Don't drive there. As a tourist, you don't even need to worry if the trains are running late or anything, because you're not trying to get anywhere by any particular time. You stay somewhere in London. We stayed at a little B&B style lodging, like apartment lodging, in, what's the suburb? I don't remember. Near King's Cross, anyway. It's probably in King's Cross. Near King's Cross and St Pancras. So we were right near the big train stations there. So we could take the train out of London, because we went up north to Derby for the Download Music Festival, which was a blast. And then can just catch the tube around. And, you know, you spend a week or so in London, taking some of the sights. We went to, like, Hampton Court and stuff as well, Windsor Castle, a bit further out. Just virtue of taking the train. Kew Gardens. You can also just walk around, spend a day walking around the main drag and stuff, go through Hyde Park, go up to, what's the other one? Completely forgot the name. Up where the zoo is, anyway. Regent Park? Regent Park. Baker Street, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. I went up past Abbey Road. I didn't do the stupid thing of blocking traffic and standing on a bloody zebra crossing, but a lot of other people were doing that. I don't understand why they haven't just painted a zebra crossing on the sidewalk, and then have like the backdrop of the road on the building, so that way people could reenact the album cover without being a dick to traffic. Whatever. Never mind. No, lots to see and do in London. Yeah, thanks, Beatles. Yeah, it's not so much their fault, it's more all of the rabid fans do the same thing, and that the studio hasn't worked out an alternative. Is that they could definitely put just a recreation of the road as it was on the side of the building, have a specific place to do the photos and stuff. But they haven't. I found it more interesting. There was a statue at the intersection just up from that was much more interesting than the pedestrian crossings. The spectacle of people doing the photo op was more interesting than things. I've also walked past the boards that drift around. I'm more interested in that than the Beatles. And even that, only marginally. Yeah, lots to see and do in London. There is the old saying of if you're bored of London, you're bored of life. Because there is a lot to do in it. It's a big city, a lot going on. You just, as I say, don't drive there. Like, we did a lot on our trip back then. This is almost 10 years ago now. And we finished up by driving down from Norfolk into London. And we just made sure that the rental car drop-off was just outside the congestion charge zone. So we just never had to worry about it. We just drove down, dropped the car off before we got to that point. And then we took a train to Paris. So which is another city you do not want to drive in. Like, London's bad, Paris is horrific. Arc de Triomphe, a 5-lane roundabout. That's what it seems like anyway. Where no one knows what anyone else is doing and no one indicates. And somehow they don't have like an underground access put across to the square. Okay, well, I've worked away a fair bit of this. We do need to bring the scaffold over to this side of things now, probably. Let's just do that now. That's right, the down scroll is still not working. They broke it in the previous update. Still isn't fixed. Kind of annoying. Going up. Into a little elevator off the side of this scaffold to get to the top. Good. Yep, we're just gonna be dinging these things that we've already done the other side of. That's nice. Oh yeah, we did rotate this around a bit so it looks different to how we left it. Oh well. Here's Scotland a week before the Queen died. My wife had already planned a holiday for when the Queen died. She was in London when they were doing the, whatchamacallit, like, taking her body to wherever. I think she was in Bath when they had the funeral. She reckoned it was just weird. It's just so surreal. All of these people with outpourings of emotion over someone that I'd never met. And weren't actually particularly relevant to. But it's, yeah, people are funny. As a sociologically interested person, yeah. Very interesting study of human response to things. It's very strange. I can understand you get that sort of pang when a celebrity that you really like passes away. I mean, you had a couple recently. There's the dude who played Dumbledore. Is it Michael Gambon? And there's been a few recently. Yeah, Parkinson, Michael Parkinson recently as well. Yeah, it's sad, but to just have such an outpouring of grief, like open grief over someone that you're not even related to, it's so weird. People are strange. It's sad that a massive part of history died. It didn't, though. History still exists. It's the whole point of history. History is recorded. You know that it happened, and it still happened. Nothing happened to it. It's still there, just because a person who lived through... You know what? My nana died as well last year. She lived through all of that history as well. I mean, obviously that was a lot more sad than some poxy monarch popping their claws. But the history's still there. It It's what are you really sad about? I don't know. It's weird. People are weird. You can't convince me otherwise. Front spoke. Oh, there's still some stuff over the other side that I haven't finished yet either. Oops. I'm just kind of madly spraying around at this point. So the star face is not done. I guess I have to go a bit lower down. Whee! Ah, it didn't let me in again. I was falling too fast to be able to go in the side. Rude. Okay, now we can get the lower faces of things. There we go. There we are. Super generous. Oh, accidental ding. A little bit more of the top side of these lights and stuff might help my case with that. Alright, now let's finish off. So we've already done everything up the top of those, really. Kind of done these in reverse. Oh, that did everything, okay. Thought the base might have been separate, but no, the base is part of the support. Person from New Zealand is going to England. Yep, sounds odd since you sound nothing like the English. We're very English here, but yeah, sound more like the English than most people. Yeah, New Zealand's a British colony, first and foremost. We have our own sort of national character and everything, but most people here have significant ties back to the UK. In my wife's case, more closely to Ireland, but also the UK. My family is about 6th generation New Zealand on my dad's side, but my mum was born in the UK. So, yeah. I've had people previously ask if I am actually English, simply because I do talk with more of an English intonation than most people in New Zealand otherwise. Or just people being confused with where I'm from at all, because they can't pick what I sound like. And I don't really look English, necessarily. Don't really look like anything. We're pretty much mongrels down here. But we also have very large South African immigrant population and Southeast Asian populations, Pacific Island populations, of course. We are, after all, technically Pacific Islands. So, not a lot of folks can place a Kiwi accent. I mean, the Kiwi accent is like most accents, you know, you get the really strong examples of accents. You know, you get the classic Australian "g'day mate" sort of thing. But most people don't actually talk like that. There'll be inflections, sure, but that sort of really strong accent is usually just kind of provincial areas, or very just specific demographics. Ditto with the quintessential or kind of stereotypical Kiwi accent of, you know, flush and chops, or too bro, too much, or yeah, or just gonna talk like this cuz. Yeah, that, you do get it, of course, but again, not everyone. The more cosmopolitan a place, the less pronounced an accent you're gonna have, because you're just exposed to more people talking in different ways, so you'll kind of default to a universally understandable dialect. And I mean, it was always drilled into me as well as a kid from my parents and teachers and stuff to, you know, enunciate clearly. So, you know, to speak properly, basically. Whereas the typical Kiwi accent is a very lazy accent. Just like half pronouncing things and dragging your vowels. And it's just hard for anyone to understand, really. So I try not to do that. And same with like the, you know, it'd be like accusing British people of always speaking like a Cockney. Kiwi accents seem to diet Australian. Yeah, basically. Similar in some ways, certainly. The Australian accent, like, again, the stereotypical Australian accent, but in cosmopolitan populations, like city dwellers in Melbourne versus Auckland or Wellington, honestly, we sound pretty much the same. Like, again, there's minor inflections are a bit different. The Australian accent tends to drag things out a lot more. Say 6 instead of 6. But then the quintessential, the stereotypical Kiwi accent is to say sucks instead. So you got sucks instead of seats. Basically, the Kiwi accent is if you play a record on like 3/4 speed, then it's kind of that sort of lazy accent with, yeah, diluted things. Australian is if you play it on like 1.5 speed, so everything's kind of all sped up and a little bit close together, and they kind of rattle through their cadence really quickly, and then end everything with an inflection. And then the South African accent is if you put the record in backwards and play it. It's about normal speed but backwards. Then that's the South African accent. Call them prawns because they look like prawns. So that's my vinyl equivalences of Southern Hemisphere accents. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be here all day. The English accent's either very proper and posh or completely not comprehensible. Like, yeah, it's the Cockney versus the Oxbridge. You either have the super educated BBC accent, and now for the news. Or you have Ray Winston, you slag. Basically, are you watching Curra Street or EastEnders? All Last of the Summer Wine, and then it's all just provincial. Or kind of completely lost whatever system I might have been doing on this, and I'm just doing things as I go around. It's like, oh, that needs cleaning. I'll clean it. No we'll worry about tidying up the bits at the end. It's a little bit of a slapdash episode, really, but kind of lost interest with the Ferris wheel a while ago. It just too sameish, too many of the same things to have to do. This platform bit is the most interesting part, rather than the cars and the beams and everything. It's all just a bit spindly and annoying. It's just like the stereotypical American accent, right? It's like, well, you either have the LA style, that starlet sort of thing, the empty-headed, like Tole, Valley Girl sort of accent, or you've got the real redneck, deep south sort of accent instead. Are the main ones that people think of. And the Joyzy from Boston. But I imagine there's large parts where it just, like, the streams I watch, the people that are streaming from all over the show, really, some based in California, there's some in, like, Ohio and stuff, that none of them sound that, like, accent heavy. Trying to get the sides of these uprights done. Work back this way. Still got to do the main platform itself, of course, but I've gone around and done the top at least. These posts should be pretty much done though by now, I think. Yeah. As it turns out, yeah. Done. Done and dusted. Problem with the American accent, how many there are? Yep. It's the same for Britain. despite being a much smaller country, the population's been diversified for a very long time. It's only recent that everywhere's kind of intermingled again with urbanization, so each county almost has its own slight accent variation, especially north versus south, but also lots of bits in between, like Liverpool and Manchester and Birmingham. Then of course Wales and in different parts of Wales and Scotland and different parts of Scotland. Glasgow accent is different to a Edinburgh or a Highland accent. Yes. And of course a lot of it these days is just more standardized by things we're exposed to, like everyone ends up with Americanisms in their speech because of all the TV content that we consume. Then if I can, I tend to consume more British entertainments than American anyway, because the humour tends to be a bit more my level. In so much as I watch a hell of a lot of things at all these days, I'm usually playing something instead. I'll leave the, like, carpet and sign and everything until last if I can help it. Oh, the handrail's already done. Okay. Ding. Okay, let's see if we can tidy up the mess that's downstairs here. Should also maybe rotate these around a little bit so I can kind of walk underneath. Oh, I have to disable aim mode, it seems. I can't walk around underneath one at that height anyway, though. Means I can get to this part of the platform, though, I guess, but do I need to? Not really. Oh, we'll clean the steps anyway. They need to be done. The other side. There we are. Oh, let's work our way around the uprights, the fence. It's not individual pieces anyway. There we go. It's going to be a whole lot that's remaining when it dings for me. It's going to be that'll do sort of style, I think. I've already done quite a bit from the other side. It probably doesn't expect me to crouch down and get the bits underneath, but I have, so... Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Give me a sec. Alright, back to it. Short, forced break from the phone. But hey, I gave me an excuse to stretch my legs and get another coffee, so... Can't complain too much. I mean, I've been going for just over an hour, so I should have taken a break anyway. It's just I'm almost finished this map, so I wasn't going to bother until afterwards, but... It's fine. It just means we can just go straight on to the next one. There was so much stuff on the back side of these palings that hadn't been cleaned, but okay, thanks Mr. Matt. Yeah, how dare you, Mr. Streamer. You reported to Mr. Bezos for taking a break. It's more that the problem is not taking the break, the problem is that I didn't run ads. I should have run an extra bonus ad break as part of it. I mean, legit, I probably should have if I was gonna, yeah, because otherwise ads are just automated every so however many minutes or something. If I'm not actually here, that's kind of the best time to run them, but... That requires actually thinking of them, and I don't. They are not an integral part of my streaming experience. They're just kind of there from obligation, so... Let him buy his 4th yacht, yeah. Imagine watching ads, yeah. I never do, really. I don't like how ads are implemented on Twitch. There's not really an easy way of doing them live. But I hate when it interrupts the whole thing. If it was a text-only ad or something without sound that popped in and occupied half the screen and squished the stream window down to a small bit, but you could still hear the streamer, that would be better. Instead of it being the audio-visual ads that dominate, and then you miss live content. But huh? They're there for the... I mean, I know that the whole point is that, yeah, it encourages people to subscribe and stuff, whatever. There is reason for it. I just don't like it. It's a case of whenever I see that there's an ad running in the chat window, I try and just not talk about anything consequential anyway. It's... insofar as I talk about anything consequential in the first place. Like, if someone said something, I will attempt to only reply after the ad is finished running, to know that it's going to be seen. Unless it's a sub, obviously. Then I can talk freely. There we go. So, platform done. So, still 10% needing to be done, apparently? But I already went over to the other side. There's more pods that still need doing as well, isn't there? And like frames and stuff. There's still more of these. Oh, there's the frame. No? Maybe I have actually done all the pods and beams and stuff. In which case I'm not quite sure what is... This stuff doesn't feel like 10%. Let's take a look at the list, I guess. Barriers, yeah. Okay, front spokes we're missing one of, and rear spokes we're missing one of. Well, that's good to know. Now we gotta see if we can see which one's blinking at me. Because they do flash white slightly, sort of. Very subtly, it seems. Must be up the top, I guess. Ah, yeah, it's the one right up there. Of course, it's the one furthest from me. Okay. Well, let's just rotate it around then, eh? We'll find out. Oh, there is a rear spoke that needs cleaning as well, so I should identify that one too. Rear spoke, rear spoke. Of course, it wouldn't be the same one, would it? No. No. Ah, it's that one. Okay. Well, if I rotate it around... So it's currently that one there. So I need to rotate it around the full rotation, pretty much. So we expect the other blue bucket to be down the bottom. Get an ad, you can leave the page and come back, and sometimes it'll forget you should have an ad. Sometimes, but... Or it'll just give you a second ad, and then you get 2 to sit through. Or, in the time it takes to refresh the page or whatever, then you've missed stuff. So, you know. Generally, I just watch the ads if I'm watching something that has them, but... I don't watch them. I let them run. I don't really watch them. Let's be honest. I'm usually playing a game while having a stream on. It's not like I'm only watching the stream anyway. I am chronic for multitasking. Probably to my detriment, but... Put it this way, the other day I was doing some dungeon grinding in Persona 3 Portable. I was just leveling some Personas through in Tartarus, so it wasn't very stimulating. So I wanted to put something else on, but I ended up putting a concert on. And to be able to watch that, I played the concert on the TV and then grabbed one of my additional computer monitors and sat it on a chair in front of the TV and plugged the PlayStation into that, so I could play the game while I was watching things. That's just what I do. Platform trims and posts. Oh, these outside bits are actually... Go away. Separate. Okay. So, is it because of underneath? It is because of underneath. That would do it. Base is done though. So it's just the trims. Or just the other end, isn't it? Nope, it's this bit. We never crouched when we were doing this bit, it seems. There we go. And some more of these posts, apparently. Oh, no, there's more posts down here. Of course. So it is pretty much just all this stuff, apparently. Okay. Seems this is 10% of the map. That's a lot more than I would have given it credit. Can I jump up here? I should grab the scaffold again, shouldn't I? Let's not be silly about this. We can just... if it'll let me place it. And now we can get a top-down look. Okay. There we go. Finally got the right combination of keys. Top. The ridge in behind. Alright, now we can do these posts. These ones probably aren't dirty at the front because you can't reach them because of the barrier that's there. And again, there you go. Barriers, entry mat, and signs, and that's literally all there is to it. Nice, good. Managed to get it down to just the checkers. Always satisfying when that happens. Miss the days where ads were funny or interesting? Yeah, they've kind of diverged a bit, haven't they? Used to get entertaining ads with fun catchphrases and stuff, bit of irreverent humour for good measure. Now I don't kind of know quite what they're on about. I mean, you've always gotten weird ads too, you just remember the good ones, right? So, you know, 5 years' time, maybe there'll be some from around now that you do also remember, but I don't know, I feel it'll be for the wrong reasons. They're either boring or they're just off-putting. It's because advertisements have just... it's gone into like a science where they're trying to culture it too much. So it just feels like they're trying too hard now. There's no genuine humor to it, it's all forced humor, usually predictable stereotypes, and it's just kind of over that now. It's also when you get companies that then they've got to try and change their image and have a fresh look and all of this stuff. It's like, we know what you do. You still make cars or whatever. You know, don't try and give us this extra crap. We're not gonna believe it anyway. And don't at any point in your advertisement tell me that you care about me or my family or anything like that, because you don't. You care about whether we buy your crap. That's it. Just cut to the chase. Tell me what you're selling. Tell me why I should buy it. Don't go all on about how you're better than other brands or anything like that, because I'm not going to believe it. Just give me your selling point. I'll decide whether or not that makes you better than other brands. And mostly it'll come down to what's the price in the store. then I'll try a couple of things, and hey, this one is worth paying the extra 50 cents for. Alright, I'll get that one instead, because it's just better quality. Okay, cool. Other than that, not gonna really care. Things you can never trust. Ads and politicians. Yeah, and especially political ads. It's election time at the moment over here, so you get political ads, and that's even worse. The tagline of the current government party is "In it for you." No, you're fucking not. Don't give me that shit. No, you're not. We are done. There we go. Hour 20 just ticked over overall, including lead-in and breaks. So that's pretty good. That's about half the time as it took us on the basic washer. I can't remember how long it took me on my first run because I lost the footage, unfortunately. So... yeah, exactly. In it for you, a massive lie, yeah. Ferris wheel is roasting. You're just not meant to be roasting, is it? Okay, interesting slang. Techno Ferris wheel is probably a terrible idea anyway. I'm turning my attention to Crackers Keith, the world's first Techno Caterpillar roller coaster. Okay.